A lot of buyers and sellers don't realize that the seawall is one of the most important aspects of owning a lake home. And today I'm on site of a new type of construction build that I've never seen with a seawall. I'm really excited to show you how it goes. Let's check it out. And one of the most challenging aspects is especially when your lot is steeper and you have to worry about the gradient change getting down to the water. And so if you're making a seawall or a concrete seawall in those conditions, it really limits what you can do, because if you're going to have a poured concrete seawall, you got to get equipment down here, you got to get people down here, they have the concrete, they got to pump it. And so on site today, we're checking out a new type of seawall that I'm seeing built by concrete blocks. And so the company that's doing this is called Site Mix, that they have created the block. Then they got Lakescape to install it for them. But what's new about this is they're creating the concrete blocks on site at their plant in Lake City. And they deliver the blocks down and then people install it. So it's not like they're having to get a poured concrete wall. And so they're able to deliver these concrete blocks on site up the top of the hill here, and then they get like a big fish just jumped out. I hope I got that. And then they have like a little mini X or something like that to deliver it on site, and then the construction company can just assemble all these blocks together. What they first did, they poured a footing, but I'm going to get Wayne here. He's the owner of Site Mix, and he's basically the pioneer with this type of installation and this type of material here on Lake Martin. And so I'm going to get him here, talk with him about how this all works, kind of the pros and cons, and just see how it all works, because I'm super interested. I'm also going to go by their plant in Lake City and try to get some shots of them making the blocks.
This is 160 foot long, this wall, and 6 foot high, so it's roughly 960 square feet.
How many blocks do you have?
It was actually 315 blocks, which equated to about 75 yards of concrete. 75 yards of concrete, 4,000 pounds per yard is 300,000 pounds of wall, which is about 150 tons. This is called a wet cast wall. Okay. So these blocks are 46 inches long, 41 inches deep. So basically you got a 3.5 foot wall here. So you get with your contractor. Here we did a solid footing, a 45 inch wide, 15 inch deep footing to hold the weight, because there was a lot of rocks here. If you're in a high volume area where a lot of wave action, I would encourage the footing down.
Okay.
Yeah, we poured the footing in early January. I mean, if you had the footing in, you could set them when the water's here. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay. As long as you had your footing, you could set them. And another good thing about this is, as the summer goes along, we could pre-deliver all the blocks. Mm-hmm. So once the water went down, people could pour the footing and they could start building the wall. They built this wall with 3 people.
Yeah. 3 people. What equipment did they have?
They had a Bobcat and a Mini X. So the Bobcat was bringing down 2 blocks at a time from up the hill. Then the Mini X would set them, and it was like clockwork. Actually, I found it on Instagram. Saw it as a guy in England. I reached out to him, and he put me in contact with the folks here in America. But then I've done my research. It's become very, very common, because it's a labor-saving tool. It's more economical than a poured concrete wall. And like there's a customer I went and saw in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge. They poured 20,000 of these blocks and sold them last year, just in that market. There's another guy in Orangeburg, South Carolina. He sold 15,000 blocks. Wow. And so it's becoming more prevalent. Mm-hmm. So, and the good thing is, like, if you poured this wall as concrete and you want to do flagstone or something on the front, it's sort of complete. You don't have to have that extra process or extra cost. We're building the blocks at our Coven Abbott location near Wind Creek. There's different patterns. We took the alpine pattern. We thought it was best for the lake, looked more rugged and more natural. There's a couple there's a timber pattern, which we may get into, but currently we're just doing the alpine pattern. 610 pounds. So they're very manageable. There's larger blocks, but when you have this type of topography coming down with the hill and weight, you're going to take bigger equipment. So we thought the 610 pound blocks would be much more manageable. Well, every layer we dump gravel behind the 57 stone, and then we put what's it called? The black hose. I'm drawing a blank.
French drain.
Thank you. Yeah, we put French drain behind it to the water, and it also has weep holes. Uh-huh. So it weeps through it naturally already, because you got seams. Yeah. All of them are, because that way it takes away the static pressure. Also, the 57 stone behind it takes away the static pressure. So when you have a heavy rain event, you don't have the extra pressure on the wall. Not for this product. For this product, we're 6 foot or lower on this wall. You don't need a engineer drawing. If you go higher, we would do an engineer drawing, have an engineer stamp it. But for what we're doing here at the lake, 6 foot or under, these walls, when you stack them, they're automatically set back an inch and a half for every block you put on here. So it's always creating that natural setback. No, it's just decorative. You can do without the cap. You can do it with the top block can be flat, so you can pour dirt and everything right up to the top, so you can lay your sod and everything right on top of the wall. Nobody ever know the difference.
Yeah.
The pros and cons, I would say, is this more economical. This wall I got a price was around $136,000 to pour the wall. We built this wall for about $92,000, so about 1/3 saving. I think it's more, like I said, it's more decorative compared to other poured concrete walls. You know, a lot of people pour a concrete wall, they want to do flagstone on it. This is already natural, doesn't need it. And it can go quicker. Like I said, we could pre-deliver during the summer to lots like this one where there's no structure already. And once the water comes down in October, they can start building the wall. Well, you're done with the most perishable product on the road, the concrete. I mean, we got basically 2 to 3 hours in the winter. In the summer, we got 1 hour to get it out and get it delivered. The other good thing about these blocks, you know, weather's not going to determine whether you're going to pour or not. If it's raining all week or it's too cold, like we had this past winter when it was 20 degrees for 2 days, we didn't pour any concrete. You can be setting these blocks and building your wall and being productive. Plus, you don't have any waste. You know, when you put a concrete wall, you got the concrete trucks washing out, you got the pumps washing out, and you're blowing out wasted concrete. There's no waste. I mean, this is pretty clean.
Yeah.
It was just blocks, you know, up and down the hill. So,
yeah.
Pretty clean process, and yeah, no waste, which is, you know, we all try to avoid that. Yeah, you're not losing your wall. You're protecting your asset, which is your lot, which is your land on this lake, as we all know. And it keeps going up in value. Yeah. And so you can, like I said, you can use these not only for seawalls, you can use them for normal retaining walls behind the house, you know, on the side of a hill. Another good thing about this is, like we had a guy come by the other day, him and his wife are going to build a wall. They got the equipment and they're going to buy 65 blocks and build their own wall at their house in Clanton. So he's his own contractor. So, so you know, he's going to have the cost of hauling them over there. So that was pretty neat to talk to him about that.
So it's hard to tell from this we're looking at here, but these are actual concrete blocks that are poured, and they're poured to have that, the rock face on it. So they're individual, they're like big, huge Lego blocks. But again, if you own property here already, or if you're a buyer that's considering this, you have to know when you look at a lot, when you look at a home, you need to know what your seawall options are. Is the seawall already there? If so, what kind of shape is it in? If there isn't one there, what can you change? How much would it cost? What would it take to do it? Because all lots are not created equal in terms of slope and ease of a seawall construction. And you know, sometimes if you're like us and we're toward the back of a slough, we don't need a big, huge seawall because we have a flat lot, we don't get a lot of waves. But if you're in a place that does get a lot of waves, that is literally eroding your investment. And so that's why it's so important to have a good plan of a seawall, and then it's doubly important to know about your seawall situation. Even if you own it, and if you're thinking about selling either your house or your lot, you need to know what the buyer is going to be thinking of, because the clever buyer is going to look ahead and know what's involved there. I'm on a mission to be the most helpful real estate agent on Lake Martin, bar none, and that's why I do these videos. Because I figure if I help you out and give you value when it's time to make a real estate choice, maybe we'll be a good fit. If you think we might be a good fit on the selling or buying side, please give me a call. I'd love to help out. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know I'm excited about some new technology coming to Lake Martin. And if you have any questions about these blocks or the construction process, don't call me. I'm just a real estate agent. Call Wayne at Site Mix. He's literally the pioneer in this type of material and this type of application. And he's a wealth of information. Give him a call. I'll give you the company info. But anyway, thanks a lot. I'm John Coley with Lake Martin Voice Realty. And if you think we might be a good fit on the real estate side, please give me a call. Thanks.